A lot of people very excited for this new ColourPop launch, so I thought I would sit down and film this. This arrived on my doorstep and I was like, I think a lot of people would want to see this, so we're gonna do this. So this is the Avatar, The Last Airbender collaboration with ColourPop. We have lots of stuff that is a part of this collection. It's a pretty large collection from ColourPop, so I think that this is gonna be pretty exciting for a lot of people that are a fan of the show. So we have lip products in here. There are also highlighters, which we haven't seen highlights, I feel like, in a minute with the collection, so there's new highlights. We've got some Fourth Ray products. There are cream gel liners. We've obviously got an eyeshadow palette. There's a mirror. So lots to dig into in this. I think we're going to first start with the eyeshadow palette. So I actually noticed the packaging is different on this one, and it has like the sleeve that slides, which I think is actually really nice. I think they should do that with all of theirs. I like that a little bit better than the one that has like the, you know, cardboard that we peel off. I think the slide kind of makes it more of like a collector, so you could like leave the sleeve on there easier. But the packaging that they did on this, very, very nice. It has a hologram there, and then we have the back. I will say, I know a lot of you hate it when I review stuff I've never seen, but I have seen the Avatar Last Airbender. I have seen it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but my little brother loved it, so I definitely have seen it, and I know some of it. I'm not going to know all of the references, but he watched it a lot, so I'm aware of the show. So this is going to be one of their 12 pan palettes. Here is a look at the packaging of the actual palette. So it's a little bit different than the outer packaging. There is holographic, which is nice. We have the names there on the back, and then the inside of the palette is 12 pans. So there is no mirror on this one. I did notice that, so let me flip it so you guys can see, but it does have like the little avatar stuff there. And then you have the 12 different eyeshadows. What I like that they did with this one is they put some of those emblems in there. So it kind of shows some of the different graphics from the show. And there is a look at the palette again. This is going to have 12 different shades. I actually seen that ColourPop already posted some prices, so that's good because normally when I do these videos, the price info isn't on there. This collection is going to drop on Thursday, the 24th at 10 a.m. PST, and I will have links down below to it as soon as it is available. But it did say that this palette is going to be $22. And I saw this one originally. It did kind of remind me of the Limoncello palette, so I wanted to bring that out and do a quick comparison of those really quick for you guys because it did have quite a few shades that I was like, that kind of reminds me of that. And I think quite a few of you will see the resemblance when I do open these palettes. So it's really just like that blue and then a few of the like muted shades in here, but you guys can tell like they look pretty similar when you like hold them next to each other. It's kind of crazy. They are different color stories for sure, but I do think it's just like that blue. And then also like some of the oranges that are in here. Also this yellow, like this mustard yellow, looks pretty similar to this one here. They just look close, like almost like too close. Like they maybe should have done, maybe just had the blue and not the mustard, because I kind of feel like it just kind of makes them look a little bit too much close together. And then also like that terracotta shade here, this one right here kind of looks similar to the shade up here. So they're just kind of close. I am going to swatch them really quick though for comparison. So I obviously think though with this collection, I know they look close and everything, but I think this is more of like a nostalgic, you know, collector's type of item. I don't think maybe you're buying it for the colors, but I do think with a lot of times with ColourPop's releases, we're more buying it for like the packaging and everything. So even if you have the Limoncello palette, you may still want this palette, even knowing they look pretty similar. But let's see. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this now so we can see how close they are. So here is a look first at the Last Airbender palette. So you can tell this blue swatch really pretty. I actually think this shade right here, the sparkly blue in the palette, looks really nice. We also have this fun kind of like light blue. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like a green blue almost. It's really pretty. So there is a swatch there of that palette, and then let me do the Limoncello. Okay, so here's a side-by-side. So here is the Limoncello palette right here. So you can tell it has definitely some similar tones. We have that blue for sure, looks very similar. The terracotta, like I thought this one here. And also even the gold in this palette kind of looks close to the golds, like green golds that they have in here. I did put a few next to each other, so like the blue, as you can tell, like it's pretty identical. The one in the Airbender palette looks a tinge darker, but on the eye I feel like they'll look the same. And then also like this terracotta shade here looks pretty similar, and then also this like yellow, it's like pretty spot on too. So there's definitely some like repeats in here, I feel. But yeah, I even have a looking at it, like that brown, like the brown in this palette looks kind of, it's a little bit more like red in this one, but yeah, they're very similar color stories. But, however, I do think that the colors in the show, I'm assuming, are going to represent this palette. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time, but you guys can let me know down below if you think this like color story represents the show, because that could be something that they didn't really have a choice with doing. But anyways, if you have Limoncello, you definitely have colors very, very similar to this, but it doesn't have those reds or anything like that. So it kind of just depends on what you're wanting. Again, you're probably going to want it for nostalgia reasons anyways, but I wanted to show you those comparisons because as soon as I saw this palette, that is where my eyes went. Next in the collection, we have the eyeliners. So these are the cream gel eyeliners. They have really neat packaging with each one of the characters there. So definitely collector's packaging with this. They are going to retail for $8 a piece, and I will show you swatches now. Okay, here's a look at the cream gel liners. They definitely have a metallic look to them. So if you aren't into metallic liners, you won't like this, but they do have like a little bit of glitter, like a little bit of frostedness to them. I'm really excited about this one here on the end because I think this would be great for your waterline if you want to like brighten up a look. It kind of has like a pink tint to it while still being white. And then the blue one, of course, looks really cool. Okay, next in the collection, we have two different Super Shock cheeks. They are like their marble cheeks, which I haven't seen one of these in a while. They look so pretty. So here's a closer look at each one of those. And then the outer packaging here is what that looks like in case you are curious. So I'll show you. So this one here is Moon Peach. And then this one here is Got Glow. So let me swatch both of these. Got Gold is this first one. It's kind of like a true gold. And then this one is really pretty. This is the Moon highlight. And this one has a little bit of a blue shift to it. If I didn't mention, those are going to be $12 a piece. And then we have the Fresh Kiss lipsticks. I feel like they've been doing these a lot, but I do really like the formula. This is going to be $8 each. So here's the outer packaging on those. You have two colors. I like this formula because it's a little bit like a liquid lipstick, but it kind of looks almost like a blotted lip or like a lip stain. It's pretty cool. It's a nice formula. I've been enjoying it. So here's the packaging on both of those. Swatches on both of those. You have like a true like cherry red and then also more of like a terracotta brown red. There's also a few Fourth Ray products. They included it in this launch. So we have this here. This is the Jasmine Tea Overnight Lip Mask. There's a look at the packaging there. There's also another little set here from Fourth Ray as well. This is the Water and Earth set. And this one comes with two different masks. We have the Soak It Up mask, which I really like. It's a nice moisturizing mask. And then also the Big Detox as well, which is a mud mask. The Jasmine Lip Mask is going to be $12 and then it's $22 for the set. And then the last thing we have is actually a mirror. So instead of doing like a handheld mirror like they've been doing, they included this like smaller little compact mirror. So this is also going to be $12. I feel like quite a bit of this collection is retailing at that price. And then let me open it up for you guys. So it has this blue color and oh my gosh, it's kind of hard to open. It's like those Soul Body highlights that are really hard to open. I hate that. That's the only thing I hate about like their plastic packaging is I feel like it's always hard to get open. Maybe it's just me, but I always have a hard time with it. Let me use my little scissors here, but I'm assuming it's just, yeah, like a double mirror. And then it says yip yip there on the mirror as well. So that's a nice little include. I like the hand mirrors, I think a little bit more than this, but it's nice if you want to have it like in your purse or something and something different aside from the hand mirrors that we keep seeing. They're also launching the collection as a whole. So if you wanted to get everything in here, it's going to be $135. Again, links will be down below. Now let's start trying it out on the face. I feel like we had a lot of swatches to get through, so let's start testing it out. Let's go ahead and start with eyeshadow first. We're going to grab the Avatar palette, and I think what I'm wanting to do, I'm kind of leaning more towards like the greens in this palette. I thought about the blues, of course I gravitate towards those, but I kind of want to try something different than I think a lot of people are probably going to do with this palette. I've got like this hair, these regrowth hairs, you guys, like what is this? Postpartum is like no joke. I feel like my hair is just a crazy mess, but I kind of want to go with like this green color maybe, and then maybe play with this like for an inner corner highlight. We'll see where we end up. I think I'm going to first start with the shade Earth Kingdom right there, and I'm going to work that in my crease first. I just realized the thing that said Zip Zip on there was just a sticker, so that's not going to be on the actual mirror. The mirror is just like plain. I wanted to mention that in case you thought that was on the mirror. So I'm going to go ahead and just start blending the shade on my crease just to give us a little bit of a definition. Like I said, my brother had this show on all the time. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably a fan of it. So let me know down below what your favorite character was from the show. I would definitely say that I watched it more than I wanted to because like I said, I wasn't super into it, but it was one of those things that was just kind of on and I wasn't always paying attention to it. Next, we're going to go into the shade Air Temple right here, and I'm going to add that into my crease as well. Bring a little bit of the yellow into this look. Believe it or not, when I was younger, we weren't allowed to actually watch TV. I've mentioned this, I think, like probably on this channel before, but I grew up pretty strict. My mom was pretty just like strict in general, but especially strict with like TV and stuff. So we watched a lot of TV, but we like snuck watched TV. So this was one of the shows that I'm sure my mom would not have approved of, and my brother was kind of just watching. But there was a lot of stuff that I like watched that I definitely wasn't supposed to be watching. When I say I haven't seen things, like you guys are all like, I can't believe you haven't seen that. A lot of like Disney movies and stuff I haven't seen, but that's probably the reason why I haven't seen them, is because we just weren't really exposed to that sort of thing. I'm now going in with that corner shade. This is called Vortex right here, and this one has a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's one of those mattes that kind of blend out. Like they have little flecks of shimmer, but once they're on the eye, you don't really see it as much. I'm just going to focus this just on the outer portion right in here. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller brush, and I am going to go in with Earth Rumble, which is that green. I love shades like this, these like earthy, like it's not an army green because it's like deeper than that, but it's such a cool color to use. I love, love, love shades like this. I'm trying to think of the last palette that had a color like this with ColourPop, because this one's pretty rich. It's pretty green. I can't think off the top of my head what palette I have. I'm sure if I go into like my, like maybe All Matte palette maybe has one, or what's the other bigger palette I love from them? I had to look it up because it was bothering me. The It's a Mood palette. I'm sure there's a color like that in here, because the It's a Mood has a lot of different color choices in there. But yeah, I just think it's kind of a cool shade. So I'm going to just take my time blending this because it is deeper. But I am going to just, like I said, focus it on this outer area just to kind of keep that deep out here. And then we'll add some shimmer here in the inner corner. So far, the quality of the mattes seems on par with ColourPop's normal quality. Sometimes with these collab palettes, there can be a little bit of slip up when it comes to the performance. Honestly, I haven't had that issue in a while though. I think the last one I didn't end up loving was like the Hello Kitty, but this seems pretty on par with like their normal formula. I feel like a lot of the collabs that ColourPop has done have been Disney, but I believe this was a Nickelodeon show. So I'm kind of curious to see now what other shows they're gonna do since they're doing this one. Like I'd love to see like a, what is that show? Wild Thornberries. Like I loved that show. So yeah, I'm kind of curious now that they're going in like the Nickelodeon route, because they've done like the Lizzie McGuire, you know, the Star Wars and all of that. So I'm kind of curious to see now what they do, if they're going to head into like the Nickelodeon era, what else they're going to do collab wise. This is really pretty. I really like this color a lot. And now for the shimmer, I'm thinking we're going to do the gold called Quicksand here in the inner portion. And then we're going to add that like blue shifty shade to just like the inner corner. So I'm just going to use my finger and tap this right on here. Wow, that is stunning. I feel like those two really complement each other really nicely. That like gold with that green. Look like I spent all day doing that. I love when the look just comes together so easily and effortlessly. I feel like that was pretty fast to do. I feel like that just looks really rich. And then we're gonna add that inner corner color now. I'm like kind of debating because I'm like, is it gonna ruin this? But I think it's gonna be cool. So the shade I'm talking about is Modern Tribe, this one here. And it's kind of like a matte, but it looks like a little bit of shift to it. But I think it's more of like a blue shade, like almost like a pastel. So I'm just gonna kind of pack this one. It doesn't really have much shimmer in it when I put it on the lid. It did a little bit in the swatch, but I think on the eye it's just gonna be like a matte, but it is very like pastel, as you can tell. So it's almost like a white blue. It's kind of cool. I don't know if I love it, what I just did like with this like look, but it's still kind of cool. It's still kind of different. I'm gonna bring it down just like a little bit further too. What do we think? Do we like that, or did I just like ruin this look? I kind of think it's cool. It's kind of different. And then let's try out some of those cream gel liners now too. So my brain wants to go straight towards that blue because it's so pretty, but I don't think it's gonna look well with this look. So let's actually just go for that like pink white shade. Like I said, that's really gonna open the eye because it's so bright. So we use that for our lash line. I don't know why I always call it a lash line. I always do that, but I'm talking about my waterline. I feel like the cream gel liners, when they're fresh, they glide on so well. I forget how nice they are when you first get them. Sometimes mine can dry up. I don't know if it's like me keeping the cap off too long or what, but I do feel like sometimes they get a little bit dried up. They're not as easy to like glide on as they once were. Maybe it's the metallic ones too that work a little bit better because they're not as like stiff. But that looks really cool. All right, let's add some mascara. I'm debating on lashes. I feel like this look needs lashes. So let's do lashes as well, and then we'll be back to try out the highlights. I was gonna apply lashes, but I honestly think I don't really necessarily need them. My lashes have been just like thriving lately. Like I feel like they just look long and good. So I think I'm gonna skip on the lashes because I do think they look pretty good on their own. I've also opened up a new Benefit roller lash, and I honestly forgot how good this mascara is. Like I used it the first time and I was like, oh yeah, like this was nice. But like once you have it opened, it's so good. I feel like it just makes your lashes look so thick and just like nice and curled, and I just love it. I'm so excited about these Super Shocks right now. It's been so long since I've used one of these, so I'm just excited to apply one. So I'm gonna go in with that shade that is Moon Peach. This one, it looks so beautiful, and I think it's gonna complement this eye look really nice. We don't have any blues going on, but we do have like that inner corner that has a little bit of blue, so I think it'll look kind of cool. Okay, wow. It's like I said, it's been a long time since I've used one of these. I like forgot how blinding they are. That's kind of cool. It's like blue but not too blue. Like it's definitely got like that blue hint to it, but it's still like pretty wearable, I feel. I like that. It definitely complements the look of the inner corner. Like when you just pop, it's like okay. I think the subtleness of the peach is what's making it a little bit more like everyday. What I say everyday, but this is pretty blinding, but I mean, you can wear a highlight like this every day, but I think it's the peach that's kind of like making it a little bit more not as blue. I just kind of blended that out a little bit with my fingers. It definitely looked a little bit glittery. I don't mind it though. It's not like a bad glitter. It's just a little bit like of a glitter, but look at that. Whew, that is pretty. So now I'm thinking about lip, and I honestly don't like think that either one of these is gonna be great with this look, but we're gonna do it. I'm definitely not gonna choose like the red. So we're gonna go in with the this one here, and we'll try that out and see how this one looks. That I kind of think, yeah, it's not gonna be like my choice. I feel like if I was wearing this out, I'd definitely put on like a nude. But I do still want to show you guys the gloss. You guys can see the formula. So this is just like such an interesting formula because it goes on like super slippery. Like it almost seems like it's like gonna be like a lip oil, like how it goes on. It's kind of hard. You have to be a little bit careful because it can get out of hand pretty quickly. I feel like I lost my lip line there, but it goes on really smooth, but then it almost like dries. Like now it kind of almost looks like a lip tint. And then it's going to kind of dry even more to where it almost feels like a little bit of a liquid lip, like maybe like a satin lip. It's an interesting formula, but it does wear pretty well and it looks pretty on the lips. I really like it. I just don't know that I'm crazy about it with this eye look. I feel like it just doesn't really complement, I feel like, very well. But it's a good formula, so if you like reds, you'll like this. Let me switch it to a nude though, because I feel like that would just look better with this eye look, and then we'll get into my final thoughts. Okay, so a glossy nude I feel like just really complements this look a little bit better. I used Cool BFF lip liner from ColourPop, one of my favorites, and then this is from Bad Habits. It's their Daily Fix Elderberry Lip Oil. I love lip oils, so this combo I feel like is really cute. I am feeling this eye look. It is stunning. I know I was like not sure about the inner corner, but now that I like have it, I love it. It's got like this purple look to it, like almost like purple blue. So pretty. I love the depth that I was able to get. I really think that I'm gonna like this palette a lot. Initially I was like, I don't know how I feel about it since it was so close to the Limoncello, but that green is like what's doing it for me. I think it's so pretty. So if you are a fan of the show, I definitely think you will enjoy the quality of this one. I think it was on par with ColourPop's typical quality. I feel like this is a really cool eye combo that I did. The Super Shock also, like I kind of dig it. I haven't been into a highlight as much lately, but it's kind of giving me something right now with this look. I'm very into it. I think that this is a cute collection. I think they did a very good job with this one. Packaging on everything was really cool. I really liked the gel liner in the waterline too. I think it looks great. I'm excited to try out the rest of the collection. I want to try the other highlighter. I want to try the gel sticks and give the eyeshadow palette a couple more tries to try some more other looks with it. The only thing that I didn't love was the mirror. I just feel like it's really hard to open. Again, I tried to open it when I was doing my lip and it was just really hard to open. So that's my only con, is the mirror's a little bit hard to open. I would prefer maybe one of the stand-up mirrors. I liked this a little bit better. But aside from that, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Avatar Airbender collection from ColourPop. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you found value in this video or if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. I would love to have you a part of my family, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new video. Bye, friends.